everybody. Welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Mike Gamble.
I'm Nick Kinsel.
And I'm Connor Bunn from For the Lead.
And guys, we just had a crazy week of racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway. But first, before we dig into that, let's go into our diecast of the week. Nick, what you got?
All right, so now we're transitioning over from Charlotte into the Bristol weekend. So why not bring out the 2019 Daniel Hemrick Tracker Boats Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet? Oh, the Bass Pro Shops really get me going, man. And he ran this car at Bristol last year and had a solid day in it, but overall, just I love this scheme. Bass Pro Shop always does a good job with their paint schemes, and yeah, it's one of my favorites. Hemrick cars for sure.
Oh, yeah, that's a beauty, man. Seeing that in person at Bristol, oh, my God, dude, that thing is a freaking hot rod. Oh,
I can attest to that.
Yeah.
that is a beauty.
And it was nice, like you said, too, Nick, that was, he had a halfway decent run that day, too. So, which, as we talked about a boatload last year, seemed like he would always have a decent run going and then somehow get caught up in some nonsense.
Story of his 2019 season, man. Good run going.
He gets caught up in that Dan-on-Dan crime.
Yeah.
Daniel Suarez wrecked us about 7 times last year, so he's on my hit list for sure.
All right, what you got, Mike?
All right, so as we all know, Chase Elliott got the dub last night in the All-Sco 500. So to play off of that, I'm going to go throw it back to his very first Cup win from Watkins Glen, the Sun Energy car. Pretty sweet scheme. I liked it a lot when I ran it. So
yeah, that's probably my favorite race win scheme that he has.
Yeah.
Yeah, right next to his Mountain Dew car.
Yeah, the Mountain Dew car was sick because, like I said, you know me, I like color chrome, and that one you didn't have to touch. It's already basically a color chrome car. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beauty. All
that
right,
was
Connor. What you got, Connor?
This one's a little bit of a nod to my guy Mike. Ended up grabbing the Ryan Blaney 2018 Roval win. It's in honor of Blaney getting a good finish last night. He needed one, so figured I'd grab that one for today's episode.
There you go.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, brother.
No problem.
All right, Ian, what do you got?
All right, so for my diecast of the week, since we're going to Bristol Motor Speedway, I had to bring out the 2016 Busch Beer paint scheme. This isn't the race win from Bristol, but it's the exact same paint scheme when he won in the spring race when him and Smoke were doing the double burnouts on the front stretch. That was cool to see. So I love this Busch Beer paint scheme. I love this one and the new one. I think they're both great. So yeah, probably one of my favorite diecasts I got.
That's a goodie. Oh yeah.
That's probably my favorite Busch scheme that he's run. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, boys. So let's dig into the Coca-Cola 600. We had Kurt Busch winning the pole in the first qualifying round since a stoppage of racing. That was really exciting. He edged out Jimmy Johnson for the pole. And then lap 49, we had rain reach the track and stop the race for over an hour, but it went by real quick, only an hour and 8 minutes. So we got right back to racing after that, boys.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
It's just so unlucky. It only happens in NASCAR that we catch 2 tropical storms in 2 weeks. It was Bertha this past week, and then we had the one at Darlington. It's just like, oh, NASCAR's back. Let's do it. Tropical storms kick up. Let's go.
Yeah. But Ian, like you said, though, it was such a fast rain delay. Like, I just remember feeling like, you blinked, the next thing you know, it's like, all right, drivers back to their cars. So that's pretty cool. Just track driving alone sometimes can take 60 to 90 minutes. So the fact that they got in and out that quick it was pretty good to see because, it's going to be a long night anyway, being the 600.
Yeah, we're lucky that just a sprinkle came through.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I'm kind of in favor of like a mid-race little shower just because it kind of gives that halftime feel to an event where drivers are able to get out and kind of regroup a little bit and come back to their car, especially in a long race like the Coke 600. I mean, having a quick shower come through like that, it's like not enough time to really wind down, but it's enough time for you to kind of like gather yourself, even though it was only like 50 some odd laps, I think. But I'm kind of in favor of the short little rain. Like even last night, the little break we had, I wasn't too opposed with it. I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. The drivers kind of get out and give a few interviews and get back in and get going. But it seems like when the rain left on Sunday, that Kurt Busch also left the building as well.
Yeah, basically. Holy crap. But yeah, Alex Bowman, he took the lead on the restart after the rain delay, and him and Truex had one hell of a battle winning for the stage one finish. Bowman went on to win stage one after Boyer brought out the caution for a tire going down, hitting the wall real hard. Guys, that knocked the wind out of him. That looked like he was hurting for a minute, but his post-race interview, or his post-crash interview, I should say, he was like, I just need a beer. I just want to go home. So he was fine.
Would you expect anything less from him?
No. Not one bit. And then we got Bowman the Showman going on to win stage two. And then we have another strong battle between Truex and Bowman throughout stage three. And then Logano stays out after yellow pit stops. He uses clean air to win stage three. So
which will be important later, so pay attention to that detail if you didn't see the race at home, boys and girls.
Yeah, was this the Coke 600 or the Clean Air 600? Because that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
You can say that again. And then Byron brings out the caution with 3 to go, blowing his left rear tire. And then Chase Elliott pits. Some follow him. Brad Keselowski stays out. It's the same thing that happened to Blaney at Vegas, guys. Just didn't work out well with him. Keselowski took the lead on the restart. Races Johnson for the checker flag. One hell of a battle right there. The 2 wins the race. Harvick rebounds from a top 15 to a top 5 after pitting. Elliott finished 3rd after pitting, and he came with those fresh tires at the end. Kyle Busch finished 4th. Johnson has been disqualified for failing post-race inspection after finishing 2nd. So that was a big blow for the 48 team.
Absolutely. And you know what? I felt like that little controversy at the end with Chase Elliott and Alan Gustafson deciding to come in and pit. That was probably the most exciting part of the race. It was very much so a race where passing was borderline impossible, especially trying to get to the leader. You just couldn't do it. Now, Ian, you did kind of allude to, the Blaney thing with the Chase pit at the end there. I would almost say, in my opinion, this one was worse. And the reason I say that, for the Blaney one that was at Vegas, you didn't know what anyone else was going to do. We didn't have anything else happen that you could use as a precursor in that race. We just watched earlier in the race at the 600, Joey Logano stays out on older tires, gets the clean air, and drives away. So to see, the 9 team see that in the race and then still decide to come down pit road, I thought was a really big head scratcher. So yeah, that like I said, that's why to me it's almost even a little worse. It's like you had the information in front of you to see what can happen if you execute it, and you still didn't do it.
Yeah, I think Mike hit it perfectly there because, I don't know, it's just me. Whatever track we're at, a 2-lap shootout, I think you have to stay on the racetrack. And especially at this racetrack where, like you said, clean air is the key to winning this thing. So I want track position because – that's a really questionable call for Alan Gustafson and Chase Elliott right there. I'm thinking any track if we're going to have a 2-lap shootout, you just stay out there, honestly. Like, I know damned if you do, damned if you don't, but especially what the racing was that night, staying out was definitely the best thing he could have done right there.
Yeah, there's a couple of things to unpack with, what went on Sunday. First of all, I think the fact that we're wrapping the bottom all the way around the track is, I don't think we're putting on a great show by only being able to run the bottom. I know they sprayed the top 2 lanes, but every time you got up there, you either lost the nose or you lost the back end. And the fact that guys that they're exiting turn 2 as low as they are off the corner with the speeds that they're running, I mean, it makes it impossible to pass. And I think the finish kind of saved the race a little bit. But I still don't think it covers up for, how bad I thought the race was overall and how passing was at such a minimum. I said today, when you get within 2 car lengths of the leader, it just takes away your nose and you just wash up the track and you end up using up all your stuff just trying to get around the leader. So that's unfortunate. At the end of the race, though, for the past few days, I had said, Elliott was damned if he did, damned if he didn't. But honestly, looking back at it, I feel like staying out would have been like the clear option, not just because it's what Logano did, but if you stay out there, you always know, especially with this package and passing being at a minimum, that there's going to be a 3 or 4 car buffer behind you. There's going to be some guys who are going to roll the dice and try and get a few more points at the end of the race, try and get a good finish, maybe even a win. It's very rare that in this package where, if the leader stays out, everyone behind him comes in. So with Logano staying out on 30-lap older tires than the whole field and still pulling away and winning the stage, looking back at it, I feel like Elliott should have done that. But, I don't think Alan Gustafson has a gambling bone in his body either. So that was frustrating, but he bounced back well last night, though.
Yeah, ended up working out well for him. And guys, this might possibly be the last time we will see Miller Lite on the 2 car. And it ended up in victory lane. So I got to say, that's a perfect storybook ending if that is the last time we see Miller Lite on the deuce.
Yeah, it is, but it's just sad, It's one of those things you think about, like, as long as I've been watching NASCAR, even going back to Rusty Wallace, Miller's been in the sport one way, shape, or form. It's been a stalemate on the 2 car for years and years and years. To see them out of the sport is going to be really funky. It's going to take a lot kind of getting used to seeing that 2 consistently with another sponsor. Because I know even now, with them only having the 1 race, every time you look for that car, it's weird seeing it not be the Miller car.
Right.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, boys, let's dig into the Allsco 300. We had Ross Chastain start on the pole from a random drawing, and then we get Rowdy Kyle Busch going on to win stage 1. And then Jeffrey Earnhardt, he decided to take the jack with him around the track after they pitted, so a little expensive there for them. Not a good move.
Now you hate to see it happen to Jeffrey Earnhardt, dude. As if the guy couldn't have any more bad luck when it comes to NASCAR.
Yeah, no kidding. And then Kyle Busch goes on to win stage 2. And then 46 to go, the 66 of Timmy Hill's engine blows up. Chase Briscoe and Chastain, they hit the wall because they're completely blinded by the smoke. So not a good race for them. That kind of sucked. And then 4 to go on the restart. Austin Cindric, he can't catch Kyle Busch for the lead at all. Noah Gragson spins in turn 2 and causes a big wreck with heavy damage for Tommy Joe Martin. But boys, he kept on driving that car after he smacked the wall real hard like that. I'm surprised he didn't get out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was a big blow.
It was only a matter of time before Gregson was going to spin that thing out. I was watching that all race, and whenever they had that camera on the 9, he was squirrely loose. So then finally it just let go on him.
Loose is fast, man. He was fast as hell that night.
Yeah.
If only it wasn't behind Cindric, man, I think he would have had that win.
I just feel bad for Tommy Joe Martin, man. The dude, doesn't have the supply of race cars that all the other guys have, and was having a really solid run. And man, he took a hard lick to that inside wall. Thank goodness there was a safer barrier there, because that looked like a hard lick off the nose of Justin Haley.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep, that's for sure. And then we got Kyle Busch taking the lead on the final lap from Austin Cindric. Kyle Busch goes on to win the race. Hemrick finishes second. What an amazing finish for him. And this is Kyle Busch's 97th career Xfinity win.
Well, only 3 more guys before he can hang him up.
He's not hanging it up.
I don't have to hear any more leads.
I don't believe that whatsoever. Yeah. He's going to get to 100 and be like, screw it. I'm going to go to 200.
I was going to say, so 100 more, boys? What do you think?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Y'all don't think he's actually going to hang it up?
Not at all. No way.
Not one bit, man. He loves racing. He ain't going to leave the Xfinity Series.
He's going to run that series the rest of his career along with the trucks.
They're going to have to make a specific rule that says you, Kyle Busch, can no longer run the Xfinity Series. That's the only way he's going to stop.
Yeah,
I don't know. To his credit, though, I think if I was in those guys' shoes, especially the Xfinity Series, I'd run that as much as I could. From everything I've heard from the drivers, those sound like the most fun and most challenging cars to run in any series in NASCAR right now. You actually have to, manage your throttle. They drive they're a little more difficult to drive. Sounds like everybody that I've heard from, they love driving those things. So if I got a chance to step down to something like that, I'd probably be doing the same thing.
Right. Yeah, I can't blame Kyle, but especially when that's probably the best form of racing we have in the top three series right now. I mean, even just going into the corner and hearing the cars lift is something that makes me happy. And honestly, watching that battle between Ross and Kyle following Ross down into turn, it was 1 or 3, and was like right on his bumper. You can't do that in Cup. You lose the nose, smack the wall. I mean, so seeing that battle and them, dicing it out, and one taking the high lane into turn one taking the low lane, them swapping. I mean, that's clearly the best form of racing we have right now in the top 3 series. And it's frustrating that it's at the Xfinity level. But, we can only hope that we can get something close to that package in the near future for Cup.
Just bring them cars all the way up. Let them be the Cup cars. We'll all be happy.
Please.
So, yeah. No, because I agree, because that was one of the things that I took the big note of in the race that was way different. Like you said, in the Cup race, all you could do is run the bottom. If you tried to run the outside, other than maybe being able to get a little bit of a run on corner exit from time to time, is inside was the only thing anybody could run. With the Xfinity cars, like they were, like you said, you could trade lines, you could run the middle, you could run low. There's so much more stuff that they could do, and the way they could drive the cars, just so much more entertaining.
Yeah, I'd say so. All right, boys, let's get into the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. That's the Truck Series race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We had old Ben Rhodes start on the pole from a random drawing, and then he immediately fell back to second. Austin Hill took the lead there. And then we have Ross Chastain going on to win stage 1 in that watermelon truck. Chase Elliott goes on to win stage 2. And then we have a caution out for Jesse Iwuji, Brennan Poole, and Stuart Friesen. Friesen had nowhere to go with the lapped car of Jesse Iwuji in front of him, so caused a big wreck with those boys.
That's just really disappointing. I don't know what Jesse Iwuji is really doing in this series anymore. I mean, their truck got posted for being too slow, and then they sent him back out, and then something like that happens. That's just stuff that really can't happen. And then no discredit to Jesse, like he serves our country and everything, but I don't know if this whole race car driving thing's going real well for him.
Yeah, I know you guys have had Jesse on the show, and I'm sure he's a great guy. I've never talked to him or anything like that, but and I don't mean to sound bad, but it's getting to the point where it's almost dangerous for him to be out there on the track. I mean, for him to be riding around at the speeds he's riding around, and his driving ability, I mean, I think he's really putting guys at danger. And that crash the other night, it's I'm thankful that it wasn't at a higher speed track or at a worse part of the track where those guys hit, because when you have a truck going that slow and in the middle of the track and swerving up and wrecking guys, granted he didn't mean to do it, it just becomes a real safety hazard, and it honestly kind of makes me question the qualifications to get behind one of these things. I mean, it's like if you have enough money, I mean, you can pretty much pilot one of these things, and it just makes me concerned because we're putting guys in danger with trucks that slow out there.
Yeah, and for me, the thing that's sad about it is Jesse is the kind of guy you'd want to see make it. You'd want to see him do well. He's a great guy, serves our country, very well spoken. If you ever heard the guy in an interview, he's really articulate. I think he's the kind of guy that had he been able to find some success in racing, would be a really good ambassador for the sport. So it's really kind of disappointing just to see him struggle the way he has, and kind of put himself into the field in some weird situations from time to time. Because like I said, I think he'd be a perfect guy that NASCAR could look to had he been, doing a good job.
Right. Yeah, he just got to be in better equipment because that truck was just way too slow on the track.
I feel like my Volvo XC90 could have gone faster than that
thing. And then, guys, you can't make this up. Caution out with 48 to go. We got Natalie Decker and Brendan Poole into it. Decker lost control and caught Poole. It just sounded like she was having trouble all night on the radio, guys.
Well,
I was going to say, Natalie Decker's radio was absolute gold once again.
I was listening to her radio, and she literally has no idea what she's doing. She's another one of those like Jesse Iwuji, like, what is she doing out here? Because she's a danger risk every week, too, because she doesn't know how to drive the car. Like, she was on her radio, and she's like, oh, so what should I expect the truck to do now that it's damaged? Like she just doesn't know stuff, and it's just really like kind of like, how the hell did you get this ride? Because I personally thought she was mediocre as hell in ARCA, so I don't know even how she got this ride. And then she just can't put it together. She just doesn't know what she's doing out there.
But she has a
Another
top
thing.
5 at Daytona.
Oh, okay. Come on now. Like I said, one of us could hop in that truck and go run top 5 at Daytona if we really wanted to.
Oh,
Like,
Christ.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of sad to see because at a time where females coming up through the ranks in motorsports is at an all-time high, and you know the sport and the outside media is really starting to focus on the talented females we have coming up. It's kind of sad to see Natalie struggle at the level that she's at. I think she was moved up too fast for how she was progressing. I thought she did okay in ARCA, and I feel like a few more years would have, you know, got her even better for that. But I didn't get to see the part of the truck race where she crashed, but it sounded like, you know, the toe was knocked out and stuff, and I think she ended up finishing like P27. But I just think it's sad because, you know, the media puts so much attention on, you know, Haley Deegan and you know how quick she's coming up and her talent and all that stuff, and then
Well, yeah, they
you
can't
know,
make the same mistake with Deegan with what they did with Decker. Deegan needs way more time in K&N.
absolutely, yeah,
Or
and I
ARCA
think
now.
and I think she's taking the right approach because she has gone on record to say that she doesn't mind spending a few more years in trucks or Xfinity to elongate her career because she'll know how to drive and know what to do when she's in situations. So I think she's taking the right approach. I'm not trying to say that Natalie's career has been mismanaged because everybody's career is different, but you know, it is kind of sad to see you know, her struggle when females in motorsports is kind of like, you know, at an all-time high.
Yeah, I agree. We were at the ARCA race in Chicagoland when Venturini had 4 women start, which was never been done before. And she was one of those ladies who started in that race. And just like you said, same thing kind of like with Jessie. It's like, it's sad, you know. It'd be nice if we could have a couple talented females kind of come through the field and really help push women's racing and things like that. So, but you know, it's just like everything else too. It's one of those things where the media is going to get a run with this and turn it all on the negative and only focus on the negative.
Now, Angela Rutsch, that's a different story. Angela Rutsch is a moving chicane. There's a difference between being too fast progressed and not being able to get out of second gear coming out of pit road and flat spotting the tires and spinning out.
And then
so yeah, there's
social media.
Dude,
right.
Like
so
I said in the group chat, they're Jersey Shore wannabes that want to be involved in NASCAR.
Yeah, it makes you question their intent for being in the sport. I'll say that.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right, boys. And then we got Chase Elliott going on to win the North Carolina Education Lottery 200, and he goes and takes a bow, and Twitter erupts.
Dude, I purposely tried to stay off social media for a little while after that race because, man, you knew, especially after everything that happened with a couple weeks ago with Kyle accidentally taking Chase out, the bow at the end there, that was going to really erupt our social media. So, but no, I think it was all in good fun. You know, he's coming down there specifically just to run the race for the bounty against Kyle. So I think they're out there just having fun. I don't think he meant anything malicious by it. I thought it was kind of a funny little thing at the end there. So I think him and Kyle are cool. Like I was kind of saying in our in our group chat, I think if there's any other normal weekend and they're all there in their haulers, Kyle's probably showing up to Chase's hauler at the end of that night with a case of beer, and they're probably laughing about it.
Oh yeah. You know, they're making some money off all this.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, both guys came out on top. I mean, Kyle Busch, regardless of where he finished, didn't get the bounty money, whatever. I mean, the fact of the matter is he's so damn good they had to put a bounty on his head. And that's stuff that only happens at like your local short track when there's a guy who's been coming there for years and just to progress the show, they got to put a bounty on his head. So, you know, both guys come out on top. Obviously, Elliott walked away with the win and the prize money and all that stuff. But, you know, in NASCAR Twitter, of course, they love the bow. Anything in the form of imitation towards Kyle, I think NASCAR Twitter will love. But, you know, when Kyle wins and pulls the Dawsonville siren out of his ass when he gets out of the car and sounds it off, I want NASCAR Twitter to act the same way and keep the same energy when he pulls that siren out of his pocket.
Oh, you know that won't happen.
Oh my God!
You know those Chase fans are gonna lose their damn minds and they're gonna try and torch Kyle again. But no,
cancel culture will make a return.
It was an exciting race for sure. Watching those two go at it definitely made the racing product really good, and it was a fun little truck race to watch. I love the truck series. They put on great shows every time they step on the racetrack, and then with the bounty and having Chase and Kyle duke it out at the end. That was really
right. Yeah, it was great having two of those guys, run it because, when we just have like one guy, not even Kyle Busch if he's running it, like let's say Brad Keselowski or Joey Logano, they're obviously going to dominate the field, and it's not going to be, that great of a race. But you bring in a guy like Chase Elliott or something that can give them a run for their money, that's going to be one hell of a race, boys.
And I think it's the perfect storm right now with it being those two. Because you just had the controversy. I think like I've been saying for a while now, the best thing for NASCAR would be if we had a nice little rivalry between Chase and Kyle. I think you put the most controversial driver, who's probably the best driver in the field, against the most popular driver, who's got the potential to be one of the best drivers in the future. It's not the same, but it's got, like I said, the Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt kind of feel to it for this era. And I think that would be the best thing to kind of still progress the sport back towards mainstream media.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I think, when people ask, how come Kyle was able to dominate the trucks more than he kind of is Xfinity? The Xfinity wins, he has more of them. But, people ask, how come he's able to easily pull out to a big lead in the trucks and really just put it on the field? Well, it's because, the trucks drive more similar to the Cup cars than Xfinity does. Xfinity is kind of like its own animal, and the truck and Cup series trucks and cars almost drive the same. So it's almost just practice for those guys, for Chase and Kyle, to go down there and drive those. So I mean, I knew it was going to come down to those two guys. Obviously, me as a Kyle fan, I wish it would have gone differently, but it was cool to. I guess it was cool to just have a little bit of action in that series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, boys, let's dig into the Allsco 500 that we had last night. We had William Byron starting on the pole from the field inversion from Sunday, and then we had rain postpone the race from Wednesday, and we had to start it back on Thursday. So that really sucked. Mother Nature punching us in the face again. But when we start up the race, we got Matt DiBenedetto taking the lead on lap 1, just as Joey Gase and Garrett Smithley receive heavy contact with each other.
Damn field color, man.
Yep.
Nothing makes me more excited to see crashes than two guys and very underfunded equipment who are teammates second for last place on lap 1. There's nothing more fitting than two Rick Ware cars crashing each other on lap 1.
Yeah. And then, guys, simultaneously, we had Brad Keselowski and Matt Kenseth cut their tires at the same time. Matt Kenseth went for a little spin, so they had to deal with that for the rest of the race.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. From initial thought, I thought Keselowski was putting down fluid because I saw he was slow. So I thought he was putting down fluid, and that's why Matt got in it. But I didn't know that they both cut down tires at the exact same time. That's pretty weird.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying it's pretty weird because the last 2 years at Charlotte, it seems like there have been right front tire issues. So to see those go down at the exact same time, almost in the exact same corner, was a little weird.
Yeah, it almost made me think there was something. I don't know if there was some debris out there we couldn't pick up, and they both happened to run something over or what. Because, like you said, like the same corner, same area, same time is. They're kind of a little fishy. And I felt like we didn't really get a great explanation, or they didn't really touch on it all that much in the booth. Like they're just like, "Oh, this is what happened. All right, moving on."
It kind of reminded me of when the Thor Sport trucks, when their engines like blew simultaneously. It's just like that simultaneous. Yeah, it's just weird how that stuff happens.
Absolutely.
Yep. And then we got Joey Logano going on to win stage 1. And then on lap 63, Kyle Busch receives damage racing hard with Eric Almirola and Ricky Stenhouse. And Kyle Busch, he had to go 2 laps down to go and fix that.
Yeah, so, in a race like that where, I understand it's a short race, you got to go Charlotte hard to pass and stuff. But, just to be in the middle of 4 wide, 5 wide, whatever it was, to cut a tire, when you go 2 laps down like that in a short race, there's no there's no recovering. Obviously, you saw. I mean, Kyle was only able to get up to 29th, but even that, he was still like a lap or two down. So, man, I don't know what's going on right now with that whole team and just the luck and everything. It just seems like, some guys and some teams like Harvick and Elliott and stuff are able to roll off the truck and just roll it out there and have the setup right. It always seems like Kyle, when they roll it off the truck for whatever reason, they're always 5 or 10 steps behind everybody else, and they're always fighting to try and, make their car right.
Uh-oh.
And sometimes by the end of the race, they're able to get their car right and get it up to the top 5, but it never seems like they have contending speed. Like, we can never get up there and take the lead. Like, we've only led 14 laps this season, and I think by this time last season we had about 3 or 4 wins. So
Yeah.
it's pretty frustrating to see them have to fight from behind over and over again. And then what was really sucky last night was like they actually rolled it off the truck, and Kyle was pretty decent. He was saying that his car is good, and I honestly thought he was going to be a top 5 to 8 car. And like he tweeted last night, when you're around squirrels, you're bound to get hit by a nut. And when you're in the middle of 5 wide with Eric Almirola and Ricky Stenhouse, I mean, it's a wonder how he didn't crash. But I'll give it to Kyle Busch for not purposely spinning out there. That's good good sportsmanship on his end. And an era where cutting a tire and spinning out is at an all-time high.
Yeah, I will say this though. I think he is one of one of those cars who is hurt a lot by us, just taking them right off the haulers and racing. I think one of the best things that he does well is make adjustments to the car from the week. Like, a lot of times, if you look at where he starts that first couple laps of practice on Friday to where they end up right before qualifying or race time, they usually make big strides into that car. So for him not to have the time to be able to do that, I think that really hurts them. So I don't know what the answer is for them there. It's just, I think they're one of the ones that get hit hard with this.
Yeah, it's like taking an anvil and just dropping it on our foot, honestly. It's just because all our other teammates, it kind of seems to be, tongue in cheek. Eric kind of seems to have the same issues as we do. Denny seems to have no problem rolling it off the truck. Obviously, they're going to have a little bit more struggles in the next coming week with lead coming out of the frame rails like it did pulling off pit road and everybody being suspended. But I don't know. I don't know what that 18 camp needs. It seems like they're struggling on speed. Kyle said that they're 7/10 slower than the leader. I mean, they've just got to find speed and got to find a way to roll off their cars off the hauler and them be close to correct, because this kind of seems like it's going to be the new norm here for a little bit. So might as well try and correct it now and do what we can and grab a win if we're able to.
Right.
Well, you're coming up to one of your best tracks, so we'll see.
One of our best tracks for sure, yeah. So hopefully, I can only hope at this point.
And continuing on with the race, we got Alex Bowman going on to win another stage. Guys, this guy is a stage-winning machine this season.
Winning machine. Can't put a full race together, though, as we'll find out here in a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, Greg Ives and Bowman seem to really be clicking right now, and it took a year or two for them to really grasp each other, but I think them two together as a combination could be a very dangerous combination for time to come. And I know that it didn't end the best for him last night, but man, the speed that he's showing and Hendrick really as a whole is very dangerous. So I would definitely not be surprised to see Bowman and Greg Ives thrive for years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a guy I thought might have even been out of a job coming to the end of the season, just because, you heard about the sponsorship issues. I felt like you just kind of did so in the equipment last year to good. And then with all the free agents, I thought it would be a logical play for them to, go ahead and look for a little more experienced driver to step into Hendrick equipment. But he's really stepped it up this year. Obviously, he's already got the contract extension. But like you said, he's gone from a guy that we're thinking about in that aspect to like he could make a deep playoff run and really be a contender, because they're on week in and week out now.
Well, yeah, he's up there leading almost every race this season. So he has, if he can just put that whole race together, he's going to be a threat to win 6, maybe 7 races a year going forward. If they can keep this up, if they can do that, because the car is fast. Alex Bowman will find his way to the front. We've seen that this season.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really it's really surprising to me because I kind of wrote them off too at the end of last season. But they're doing good stuff over there. Hendrick as a whole is really picking their stuff up, so it's really cool to see.
Yeah, he's been leading laps like probably every race since we've gotten back from the quarantine. So it's been working out well for the 88 team, except here with 74 to go. We get the 88 of Bowman slapping the wall very hard, just got really loose out of turn 4. Basically took himself out of contention. And Kevin Harvick, he was looking really speedy in the final stage up until he had to start saving some gas. His tire wear started falling off. Just didn't work out well for him. He ended up falling to 10th at the end of the race.
That was the craziest drop-off that I've ever seen. Harvick's out here dominating this thing, and then just in a matter of a couple laps, he's fallen and he's barely even in the top 10 anymore. That was one of the craziest fall-offs I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'd say so. And then we get Chase Elliott. He gets redemption after getting turned last week, and he goes on to win the Allsco 500 in that beautiful Kelly Blue Book looking Chevy Camaro.
Yes, sir. I put in my pre-order for that diecast right before we came on the air today. You guys know with Chase, Blaney, and Bubba. Well, not so much Bubba, but Chase and Blaney, I get all their race win diecasts. So that'll be another one for the collection. I'll be happy to jump on a Bubba one if and when that happens, but that's a story for another day. Speaking of which, so shout out to the 43 team in Bubba Walls. I thought they had a great race. One thing I've noticed a lot, we've kind of made a joke about Alan Gustafson at times not having a gambling bone in his body. I think those are the only bones in Jerry Baxter's body because it's like every time they get a chance to roll the dice, he does. Keeps him out under yellow multiple times again, has him run inside the top 10. He sneaks the stage point, and then we have a mechanical failure again, which, again, nothing really on Bubba there. It's just one of them racing things. But, man, they were poised for a nice top 10, top 15 finish before all that nonsense happened. So it's good to see them, taking chances, running well, and really putting their name out there.
I got to give it to Bubba, too. I mean, when you're in the position he's in and when you're in the equipment he's in, you got to go against the grain. The past two crew chiefs were just kind of going on with what everybody else was. So I'll give it to Jerry Baxter for saying, screw it. Let's everybody's going to go left. Let's go right. And, it's worked out for him sometimes. Unfortunately, last night, I believe they broke a hub and
again.
Bubba just said he's not going to
from the 600.
Yeah, he just said he's not going to crash a car because they can't afford a hub, which is sad. But, I'll give it to Bubba. He's racing around there in the top 10, 15. He's definitely improved that car. And, if Bubba's proved anybody anything this year, it's that he is, light years ahead of the equipment that he's in. So going forward, I can only hope Bubba gets a fair shot at a really decent ride and then really see if his career can take off from there. But for Chase, oh God, dude, I hope the truck win on Tuesday, and I hope his win last night can really just, make his fan base shut up about the Kyle Busch ordeal. And I hope that can be their sign to just like move forward and Kyle had a horrible night last night. He beat Kyle on Tuesday. Like, is that enough for them or am I gonna have to still listen to this crap?
You're gonna be hearing it for the rest of their careers.
News.
I mean, junior fans still hold on to the Richmond incident, so
that is true.
Watch out, bud.
Yeah,
but Junior didn't rebound and as quick as Mr. Elliott did. So
yeah.
I don't know. I hope it's
so. This
good.
might be going on a little bit longer then.
Hopefully not. Hopefully no more bounties. Hopefully he can't wrestle away any more wins in the truck series from Kyle. But that team had one coming for a while, and like we keep saying, Hendrick is fast. Everybody in that camp is doing really well right now. The only one who seems to be struggling, which is Byron, but he's really not even struggling. It seems like he's just running into bad luck. So
yeah, It really seems when they brought in these new Camaro bodies that the Chevys have just showed some raw speed.
Yeah, they look like a step ahead now. They were a step behind. It looks like they caught up, and now they're ahead of everybody.
Yeah, and I think Denny hit it right on the head last night when talking to Matt Weaver. He said that, with Ford and Chevy having the newest bodies out of the three manufacturers, they built their cars for this package to where their cars would naturally be good in this package Where Toyota, they rolled this chassis out in 2017 when we were still with the old package, and they naturally excelled. So I don't know. It's good to see Hendrick doing well. It was only a matter of time before that organization turned around. They're just too damn good to be down for a while. But to see Chase really flourish like he is, and like he should be. I think what he's done in the past season and a half has really made up for the first 2.5 years where he wasn't able to get a win. So good for them.
Right.
Yeah,
kind of like what you were saying, like 2016, 2017, whenever they brought out the new chassis for the Toyotas, they had a newer chassis than everyone else in the Fords and the Chevys, and they were just dominant those 2 years. So it's kind of what comes around goes around.
Yeah, it's the perpetual game you see between the manufacturers. As soon as one rolls one out, somebody's going to roll something new out right after, and the advantage is going to keep rolling. We're in that weird little spot now where, we do have the new gen car coming out soon. So I don't know if anybody will, but ultimately, or will, make any more adjustments. But ultimately, I do put that on the manufacturers to kind of you want to try to keep your car and your manufacturer competitive as possible in NASCAR. But it's we're right back to one person takes the lead with the aero advantage, then it goes to the next team, then it goes to the next team, and we'll see who has the advantage once the next gen car hits. I think it's going to take everybody a couple years to figure it out, and then we'll kind of get going from there.
Yeah. Like you and I were talking last night, Mike. You were like, well, it's on Toyota and Gibbs to roll out a product that can compete. And it really sucks is I don't think it's that they don't want to. Obviously, they want to be up there competing, and they want to have the best stuff. But it's the fact, with everything going on, it's kind of wrenched up NASCAR's plans of the next gen coming out next year. So we're going to have this same car next year. And it's like, oh, well, Toyota could create another chassis. But, with that comes money. And, with Gibbs purchasing the right to design and develop the next gen car, I mean, that's just a lot of money to throw out in the next two seasons. And, in the age where, NASCAR is getting more expensive as is, you want to try and save as much money as possible just so you don't end up behind. I think a lot of times teams overspend, and it really puts them behind the 8 ball with the other teams. So I don't know. It's kind of a money chess match on the back end of things, on more of the business side of NASCAR. So it's kind of like you just got to roll with the punches and stuff. And unfortunately, that being a Toyota fan that I am, it kind of wrenched just a little bit. But Hamlin's got 2 wins, so I can't really complain. Maybe we're making steady gains. Maybe by the end of the year. I was kind of thinking last night when I got home that this year for Toyota Kyle and specifically kind of reminds me of Harvick last year. They rolled off and they struggled on speed early on, and then they kind of caught their wind and got a few wins by the end of the year and was really competitive. And it kind of reminds me of
he didn't get
Kyle.
a win until July, so but I wouldn't worry about Kyle Busch. He's still going to get like 4 to 5 wins this season.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't doubt him.
I mean, if they find their footing, obviously we've seen Kyle rip out 5 to 8 wins, whatever. But it honestly just reminds me of Harvick's deal last year. And I saw a lot of people on Twitter last night calling for Adam Stevens' job, and I'm like, what?
Oh, come on.
There's one guy in the world that does a good job of putting up with Kyle Busch, how crazy he gets on the radio and shit. That man is just gonna be a saint one day.
Right.
Who's gonna step in and do a better job than Adam Stevens? Give me a break.
Yeah, right. And I went back and I listened to Kyle's audio this morning from last night. And I think it was like random. It was like 65 to go, and he just cues over the radio and goes, "I love my life. I love my life. I love my life." And like Adam was just like, "Yep, just got to take what it is, and we'll just roll on, but finish it out, bud." So Adam definitely keeps him level-headed. So I'm glad for that. And it's same with Rodney Childress with Kevin. I think that was one of the best things, obviously, to ever happen to Kevin's career. He's got a championship out of it, and Rodney's credited for as many Kevin wins as Kevin is. So, it's like finding that right combo, but kind of reminds me of Kevin's 2019 season. I can only hope it'll go as well as Kevin's 2019 season.
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely agree with the parallel. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I think that's a good place to end the show, boys. You got anything else to add?
My picks were horrible this week. Kyle Busch did not do what Kyle Busch usually does, and Jimmy Johnson got disqualified after the 600.
Hey, I picked Keselowski to win the 600, so it worked out for me.
Hey, Ian's balling over here, leading like top 1 and 2 in points, picking the winner every week. This man, you just need to go scratch some lottos when we get off here.
Yeah, you need to be the co-host on the Gamblers Picks right now. I feel like I'm doing pretty damn good over there myself, but man, you're giving me a run for my money.
Hey, man, I'll take it. But guys, we'd like to thank you for watching the Stock Car Spectacle Charlotte Review Show. For the Stock Car Spectacle, I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Mike Gamble.
I'm Nick Kinzel.
And I'm Connor Bunn.
And guys, make sure to follow us on Twitter. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all of our podcast platforms. Make sure to follow Connor Bunn and For the Lead on Twitter and Instagram as well. Follow our good buddy Kodo's Mojo. He just started getting into NASCAR again. He's got all of his NASCAR gear now. He's a big Chase Elliott fan. He was all hyped up by last night.
He was losing his mind last night.
Oh, yeah. So, guys, make sure to go check out Kodo's Mojo because I'm sure he's got a lot to talk about this week with the 2 Chase Elliott wins. So, that'll about do it for us, guys. Thanks for watching.